Alright, what is going on, people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, I'm going to keep it nice and simple for you guys. This was a requested video from quite a lot of you. Many of you have been asking if I can showcase the strategy working on indexes. Now, last week, I actually took a trade on the S&P 500. Or you can call it US 500, whatever you like to call it. I took this sell right here. As you can see, we had that price cycle play out again. We had that consolidation, expansion, which broke that structure. That expansion created that imbalance, and remember the retracement to fill in any inefficient price action, and then the reversal to continue the move over to the downside. So this was the before, this was the after. We secured a nice 18 RR. I personally pulled out the trade when it touched 15 RR, securing a nice 7.5% on this position. And what else I'll be doing is going through some backtesting that I was doing on NAS100, showing you guys again that the strategy does work on every single asset class. So let's get straight to the video. What I'll be going through first is the trade that I took on the US 500, so we can get that out of the way. It's nice and quick and easy. So the trade was right here. All right, let's actually replay price back. Sorry, let's replay price back to this point right here and go through why I took this position. Okay, let's head up to the 30 because we don't really need the high time frame right now. I'm gonna keep it nice and simple for you guys. So as we can see here, right, price is sort of beginning to distribute over to the downside. Okay, once I noticed that price was starting to weaken from its bullish momentum, I was waiting for that breakout structure to the downside to confirm the sells that I want to get in on. Okay. Not only was price beginning to distribute over to the downside, there was also some further imbalance down here that needed to be filled in. Alright. So once I wait for that breakout structure, and I got that at this point over here, right, I started to mark out the price cycle and the zone before that breakout structure. Okay. Now if we zoom into this area right over here, now, what can we see? The consolidation and then the expansion which broke out of that phase. Okay, and that expansion created all of this inefficient price action that we know the task of the retracement will be to fill in that inefficient price action, right? So once we identified that there was consolidation and we had identified the expansion outside of that phase, we simply waited for the retracement and marked out the last candle before that impulsive move to the downside. Now, if we zoom into that candle that I marked out, look at this. We have 3 indecision candles where the body is minimal and the wicks are on either side, right? So I simply went off the wick and I had my stop loss at the wick of this candle, right? That was how I entered in on this trade. Again, going through why I took this trade. Consolidation, we had that expansion outside of that phase, the retracement to fill in all of this inefficiency, and then the reversal. Now for my TP, again, I was targeting all of this imbalance that we had over here, right? That was the last wick before all of this imbalance. I was simply targeting that area. And now let's watch this play out. So let's hit the play button and watch it do its thing. On quickly, there it is. Beautiful entry, beautiful exit. Okay, now let's zoom into that entry, show you guys it properly. Alright, there it is. So we entered again at the wick of that candle, stop loss at the wick of this candle. Okay, we had a stop loss of 20 points and we had a TP of, should be 360 points. There is 360 points. Nice 1 to 18 risk to reward. Again, I pulled out once it touched 15 Rs, secured a nice 7.5% on this trade. Now, again, guys, this is the proof that this strategy works on all asset classes. I usually use it. I usually promote it on currencies. This is an example of me showcasing it on the US 500. So it's just, again, supply and demand. Trust me, all asset classes. Quick summary on this trade again, for those of you that just need it. Consolidation, expansion, the retracement, fill in that inefficiency, then the reversal to fill in that imbalance that we had down here. Okay, that's all there was to this trade. Very textbook and as simple as. Now, quickly go through the backtesting that I done on NAS100. Again, it was all purely supply and demand, okay, and the price and the use of the price cycle. All right, I'm gonna head over to the 1 hour so you lot can see it properly. Okay, it's all use of supply and demand, structure, and the price cycle. Okay, we'll start from here. Why did I take this trade? I didn't take it on live, but again, this was all backtested. What do we have right here, people? An area of consolidation. All right, and then we had that expansion which broke structure. Then we waited for the retracement to fill in any inefficiency. As we can see, we had that inefficiency here, we had that inefficiency here. Price pulls back, fills in all of that inefficiency, taps into this higher time frame area of demand. Okay, that was essentially that was the last area of demand before that impulsive move to the upside, right? Price pulls back, taps into this area of demand, and then begins to move over to the upside. Okay, now this entry over here, we had that consolidation at this point here, and then we had that expansion, which again broke structure. Wait for price to pull back, mitigate into this area of demand, and then continue the wave over to the upside. Now, why was our TP here? Again, what did we have up here? Guys, the cycle, yeah? Consolidation, expansion, right? So price pulled back, tapped into the last area of supply of this area of consolidation, and then continued this move over to the upside. To the downside, sorry, okay? So we got in longs here, and had a safe TP at this area of supply. Price continued to move over to the downside, and then it started to make its way over to the upside, okay? Wait for some structural breaks, and we had that right over here. My apologies, people, the video cut out on its own. I wasn't sure why, but let's get back into it. Kind of lost my flow. Where was I? Okay, we were at this point over here. So, as I was saying, we were waiting for price to break over to the upside, okay? Waited for some structural break, and we had that right over here. Once price broke that high, I started to look for my areas to jump in for buys, okay? Once that structure was broken, at this point right here, I was marking out this area of consolidation down here, okay? And I marked out the candle that was unmitigated. Now, you're going to see, why did you not choose this candle? Now, if we pay attention to this area here, look, it tapped into this area. That to me is mitigated. I wouldn't look at that candle. I would look for unmitigated ones, and we have that right over here. We have a very nice sell to buy candle. We marked it out of the open. Stop loss at the close of that candle. Okay, price pulls back, taps into that area of demand. Okay, and then starts making his move over to the upside. Now, what was our TP? It was this area of supply. Why? What do we have right here? This area of consolidation. Then we had this impulsive move to the downside. Okay, this was with high volume, created so much inefficient price action. Price pulls back, fills in the inefficiency, taps into this area of supply, which was the last area of supply before that area of consolidation. Again, guys, the price cycle, again, I'm going to emphasize it all the time because it works on all asset classes. Okay, consolidation, expansion, retracement to fill in any inefficient price action, and then the reversal, which usually seeks out for liquidity. And what do we have at this area over here? Look at all of this trend line liquidity that we have. Okay. Again, this was all there was to these trades. Okay, the price taps into that area of supply, then the reversal seeks for that trend line liquidity. And then what does it tap into? This area of demand right here. This was the last candle before it created this inefficient price action. Price reversed, retraced. First, it took out this liquidity, filled in that imbalance, tapped into this area of demand, and began to move his way over to the upside. Okay, now for this sell right here, there wasn't much to it. Simply price was moving over to the upside, and we had to move to the downside. What did it create right here? Some equal lows. Okay, we have some liquidity that needs to be taken out. And what do we have here? Some inefficiency. Okay, we have some inefficiency right here that we know needs to be filled. All right, and what do we also have? That unmitigated area of demand. But anyways, now for this trade, price pulls back, taps into this area of supply right here, and I'm pretty sure it aligns with a premium level. That's the high and that's the low of the price range. Price, look, aligns perfectly with our 79%. Price taps into that area and begins to make his move over to the upside. That imbalance is now filled, and this area of supply is now mitigated. Okay, but just to be safe, we had our TP right here, or you could have just simply targeted the wick of this area. of demand. Okay, so that was for these sells. Again, the same thing for this sell right here. Price made his move over to the downside, continued to break multiple structures, price pulls back, taps into this area of supply right over here, and then begins to make his move over to the downside. Okay, I personally targeted here because that's where the imbalance was, and that was the last area of demand. But as you can see, it simply broke straight through that area of demand. Same thing here. We had this area of consolidation, price expands over to the downside, breaks structure, price pulls back, fills in the inefficiency, taps into the last area of supply, and begins to make his move over to the downside. Okay, so that was all there was to the backtesting that I done on NAS100 for you guys, and I hope you lot found it very useful. And again, emphasize on the point that this strategy works on every single asset class. Okay, I just showed you guys an example of a trade that I took on the S&P 500 and some backtesting I done on the NAS100. Okay, I hope you lot found this video very insightful. Again, do drop me head over to my Instagram if you ever need to ask any questions. It's zmcapitals. Drop me a DM. I get back to you as fast as I can. That's where I'm most active, people. Don't drop too much comments. I don't really reply there much. I don't even reply there at all, to be honest. So your best chance to get to me, drop me a DM on Insta, and I'll try to get back to your DM as fast as I can. So I hope you lot enjoyed this video. And if you lot do need anything, again, do drop me a DM on Instagram, and I'll get back to you lots.